Ugh, Margot, I had such a hard day at work. These kids are driving me crazy. Tell me about it, Belinda. You would not believe the conversation I heard in the teacher's lounge today. I was getting so upset that I left right after I microwaved my lean cuisine. First of all, I can't believe you had enough time to heat up a lean cuisine during your lunch break. What were your coworkers talking about? Well, you know how most of my coworkers are white and almost all of our students are not white? Yes. So a few of the white teachers were talking about the students in their classes showing deficit thinking. One was talking about how one of her students is struggling academically because his family is made up of people who didn't graduate high school. That's crazy! Margot, you wouldn't believe it. She added that the family didn't care about school and that's why the boy isn't on grade level. Like it's the family's fault. I know. Another teacher said, I don't know what they are teaching that child at home, but you can't do that in school. That angers me when teachers think that aspects of non-white cultures are not compatible with school culture. Some studies show that non-white kids get suspended more than white kids. The justifications used in the suspensions were more subjective for non-white kids than white ones. This is also making me think about how some kids don't want to act white and succeed in school, or they will be shunned by their friends. As if school isn't hard enough, there's also the stereotype threat, which suggests that non-white students have anxiety about disproving the stereotypes that non-white students can't achieve at the same level as white students. Because they don't want to fail, they do not engage in academically stimulating activities. These reasons can cause African American students to be overrepresented in special education, especially in the category of emotional behavior disorder. But many historically underserved groups of students come from low socioeconomic status. Don't some risk factors correlate with placement in special education programs? Like what? Like improper prenatal care, low birth weight, poor nutrition, and lack of school readiness at home? Yes, but lots of research suggests that only 33% of the achievement gap comes from socioeconomic status. Then where does the other 67% come from? Some people think that poor school performance from non-white students may come from teachers' beliefs about these students, poorly funded schools, and poor instruction. That's a lot to think about. I know that one of the fastest growing populations is children of color and second language learners. These students are our future. What do we need to do to help these students succeed? We need to incorporate the theory of multicultural education into our schools. What? Multicultural education. There are 5 dimensions. Have you been living in a cave? Apparently. What is the first dimension? The first dimension is content integration, putting non-white people into the curriculum and having non-white role models. It seems like all my picture books are about white people, except during Black History Month and Hispanic Heritage Month, of course. You need to include non-white people into your curriculum all year. The second dimension is knowledge construction. We need to help students understand, investigate, and determine the implicit cultural assumptions in our curricula. That makes me think about when one of my students asked me how Columbus discovered America, and when the American Indians were already here. Exactly! The third is equity pedagogy. We need to change our methods of teaching to enable students from diverse racial groups and genders to succeed. So, instead of changing our expectations of students to meet our teaching styles, we can change our teaching styles to meet the needs of our students. You are a good listener, Margot. The fourth dimension is prejudice reduction in ourselves and our materials. We need to empower our school culture and social structure to make it more equitable for all students. That's the fifth dimension. I guess great minds think alike. Multicultural education is a theory that levels the playing field for all students. Just like universal design for learning. I was just thinking the same thing. Great minds really do think alike. I just read this great article that stated that universal design for learning takes into account 3 primary brain networks. The first is the recognition network, what we see, hear, and read. So the what of learning, precisely. Another network is the strategic network, how we plan and perform tasks. The how of learning, right again. The third is the affective network, or how learners stay motivated, excited, and interested in learning. Sounds like the why of learning to me. How can we use this brain network theory to change my teaching? I'm so glad you asked. You can present the material in different ways. You should provide multiple ways that students can show what they know, and you need to stimulate students' interest for learning. I have to go pick up my girlfriend and our kids. This conversation is making me think about how I need to change my teaching practice. It's an ongoing process meeting the needs of non-white students. We should get together again and talk about how we're doing. Great idea. See you soon, Belinda. Bye, Margot.